Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Healthy Girl Era. Happy New Year guys. Oh my gosh, we're in 2026. Can you believe it? I feel like I say this all the time, but Christmas comes around and then it's gone before you even know it. Like the build up to Christmas is so much obviously longer than Christmas, and it makes me so sad that Christmas is over so soon. But one thing that I do love about Christmas ending is the opportunity to do my end of year reset, to get ready for a new year. There's no better feeling than starting a new year, having new goals, all of that stuff. Like it just is so satisfying, and I'm here to help you make 2026 your best year yet. We're going to run through all of the habits, the routines, the systems, the tips, mindset, movement, nutrition, all of the good stuff to help you have the best year of your life yet. Because I genuinely believe that 2026 has something special about it. There's something in the air. I don't know what it is, but this is going to be such a good year for all of us. And I definitely believe that there is planning and thought required to make sure that you do have a good year. And I have been going through since Christmas my end of year reset process, and I feel like I'm in a good place now to give you guys all the advice, all of the tips that I have been doing that work for me. So yeah, I'm so excited for today's episode, and yeah, let's jump into it. So before we jump in, I did just want to talk a little bit about Christmas and what I've been doing since we last spoke. I have had a few weeks off just because it's been Christmas, New Year, and guys, I don't know what it was that was going around, okay? Everyone was getting ill and I didn't get ill, and I thought, you know what? My vitamin C supplements are working. I'm not ill. And then on Christmas freaking Eve, your girl just went. And honestly, like the day that was the worst was Christmas Day, which is so sad because I felt so ill, but I still managed to enjoy it. But yeah, honestly, I just don't want to go outside anymore because there's so many things floating around that I don't want to catch. I don't want to go to the gym. I just want to stay in my house, which obviously I can't do. But yeah, be careful out there. So yeah, I did have an amazing Christmas. I hope all of you guys did too. But your girl was ill, okay? And I feel like I'm back to fighting fit now. If you follow me on socials, you'll see that I had to do a bit of a return to running and exercise and all of that stuff because I had to like rest for a bit, which was obviously completely fine because I was ill. But yeah, it was a bit weird for me to take such a long time off. But I'm back now. We're better, we're stronger, and we are ready for today's episode. So let's move on to the tips and tricks because this is a good one. Number one, you need to define what your best year actually means. Now, I can sit here and tell you to do X, Y, and Z, but if you do not know where you want to be at the end of this year, you're not going to have a successful year end of. And I say this with anything when you're setting a new goal in the gym, with your nutrition, whatever. What does good look like to you? Where do you want to be at the end? And I think it's so important before you do anything and before you start trying to implement anything this new year is understand where you want to be at the end of this year and visualize that. You need to visualize yourself, what she has at the end of the year, how she feels, where she's at in her life. And I truly believe if you do that, you will reach that version of you because you have it so imprinted in your mind. You can't reach a version of you that you don't know yet and that you can't visualize. And I think you have to visualize your end state to be able to get there. And it keeps you on track too, because whenever you're feeling a bit lost or you don't know what to do, you visualize her, what would she do? And how my actions now going to lead me to that version of myself. So what does your best year actually look like? What is really important for you this year? You know, set yourself some themes for the year, and you're probably aware of where you want to work on and what you want to improve. But just take time to just sit down and really think, literally just you and your thoughts, how last year went, what you want this year. Like literally close your eyes, visualize you on December 31st, December 31st, 2026. Like visualize her right now. Where is she? What does she look like? What has she achieved this year? How does she feel in herself? Where is she? Where is she living? Is she in the country? That kind of thing. So before you do anything, what does your best year look like? Because there will be people floating all over social media, as always, that are saying what their goals are, what their habits are for this year. And that is never going to work for you. You need to know what your best year looks like so that you can work towards it. And that is just important before you do any of these next steps, because if you don't have that clarity and that vision, you're going to be just aimlessly working on different things. You're not going to know. You have no direction, and direction is the key to success. And we're going to come on to that later. Now, once you've done that, you want to choose 3 to 5 specific goals for the year, no less, no more. Too many goals, I think we know that you can go either way. So you can either set yourself so many goals that it is just overwhelming and you're not going to stick to them. Point blank. We've all been there. I'm going to achieve this year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose this much weight. I'm going to stick to my nutrition plan. I'm going to get this many steps every day. Blah, blah, blah. Too much is just going to send you the opposite way, even if it doesn't feel like it. If you put too much pressure on yourself and too many goals, you're not going to stick to any of them equally. And even last year, I didn't set myself any specific goals, and this year I've been so on it with it. If you don't set yourself any specific goals, which again, like I said, I did last year, you end up just having no direction, and you then get to the end of the year and you've achieved things, but you're not quite sure what, because you haven't been measuring against anything or trying to work towards something. And I really struggled with that during this year's end of year reset, because I didn't have any goals to look back on. I had a vision board, but it was just very general and obviously just pictures, and there was no specific goals. And this year I have set myself 3 to 5 really specific and measurable goals, and I just feel so much more motivated for the year, because I know that I can measure against these goals and I've got something really specific to achieve, and I'm going to know when I've achieved that, and I can almost tick it off. If you can't tick your goal off and you can't know exactly when you've achieved it, it's not specific enough. So make sure that you're setting yourself not just 3 to 5 goals, but they're really specific, obviously to you, not to anybody else or influenced by anything else. Specific goals to you that are specific enough to measure, so that you know how close you are to the goal, the progress you've made to the goal, and at any given point you can say how close you are to achieving that goal. And it just makes the process a lot more satisfying, and it's going to keep you motivated, guys. If I'm honest, like when you set yourself a broad goal, like I want to lose weight, it's not specific enough or tangible enough, but how much, or when am I going to know when I've achieved it, and how much progress have I made towards that. But if you said I want to lose X pounds by this month, like you can see the difference, right? And I spoke about it in a previous episode about those SMART goals. Make sure that they are super, super specific, measurable, realistic, achievable, and time bound. That is your best friend when you're setting a goal. Now, these goals are going to guide your daily and your weekly habits, and these goals should be super visible to you. You should know them like the back of your hand. These are like your pillars for this year. Like, don't just set things and kind of think, oh, I do want to achieve that. Make sure they're realistic. Like if you read my goals, they're probably not crazy. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, which I think people think you always have to do, set these crazy big goals. But in reality, they're probably not going to be that achievable for you in 1 year. So mine are like super realistic goals that are going to guide my daily and my weekly habits. And that at any given point, I know what they are. And I know whether this action I'm doing right now is taking me closer to that goal or further away. And they're literally going to be your cornerstones of your year. So make sure that they are achievable and that they are literally in your mind every single day. Write them down, put them up, keep them as your lock screen, whatever. Just make sure they're super visible so that you are reminded of them and that you don't forget it. Get to the end of the year and think, oh, I said I was going to do that, because there's no worse feeling than that. And make sure they're simple enough that you can start working on them. Don't make them really elaborate, because again, if you make them too complicated, you're just not going to start on them. So make sure that they're simple enough that you can get going now. You can start tomorrow. You know what you can do tomorrow to start reaching that goal. You might not complete the whole goal tomorrow, of course, and that wouldn't be big enough and, like a big enough goal for the year, but make sure that tomorrow you know what you need to do to start working towards that goal, and break it down into smaller sections, and then you can track your progress, and it's just such a better way of doing it. Now, number 3 is to build systems that support your goals. It's all well and good having these amazing goals, and they're super specific, they're super measurable. You're like, these are the best goals. Like, no one has better goals than me. These are like the epitome of a SMART goal. If you have not got the systems in place to meet those goals, you will not meet them. You can have the best intentions and the best specific, realistic goals. If you haven't got the systems in place, you're simply not going to reach them, because your motivation is going to fade, and you have to rely on your systems, not that motivation, because it's going, okay? It's January, you're going to be motivated. There's a reason why the gym is so busy in January and it quietens down in February, because people do not stick to it. They rely on their motivation. Their motivation fades at the end of January because the novelty's worn off. And they say, bye-bye gym, I'm not going anymore, because I just am not motivated. And they do the same thing again next year. You have to have a system and a plan in place that's going to keep you accountable and on track. Now, even me, as someone who you might look at and think, oh my gosh, she's so motivated. People ask me all the freaking time, how are you so motivated? I'm not. I follow a plan and I have a system in place that works for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going to I would skip gym sessions if I just said, oh, I'm going to go to the gym this week. But I say that I've got this session on this day, this session on that day, it's for this duration, I'm doing this. It's a non-negotiable. Schedule your workouts in, for example, like they are an appointment in your calendar, as important as a doctor's appointment. Have a plan in place, build yourself a plan, a weekly and monthly plan that all you have to do is stick to, because when you have to think of what to do and also do it, you're so much less likely to do it. But if you actually just have a plan in place that you've made for yourself and all you actually have to do is stick to it, you're much more likely to do it than if you had to think up this whole plan too. So make sure that you have the system in place. And like I said, that's doing the things and creating the plans that make things easier for you. So that's scheduling in your workouts in advance, having a workout plan. Please have a workout plan. Meal prepping and planning your meals. You probably know if you don't plan what you're eating, you're probably just going to end up going for something convenient and you know, whatever. But if you know you've planned your meal and you know exactly what you're having, you're going to eat it, aren't you? It's so simple, but you have to make sure that you have the systems in place to support your goals, or again, you're going to fail at the first hurdle. Having a system in place removes that decision fatigue. It just makes things so much easier. And even again, like I always kind of had a plan, but it was never like I hadn't had a written down schedule kind of thing. I knew I wanted to go to the gym this many times, and it would result in me starting to skip or doubt myself or not knowing what to do, so then I just wouldn't go. And even to this day, guys, if I don't have a plan for the workout that I'm going to do the next day, you'll probably find me not doing it because I'm just like, well, I'll probably just go for a walk because I just don't want to, I don't want to decide. It's early in the morning. I don't want to remove the decision fatigue, and you will literally find yourself sticking to your workout or whatever, your nutrition or whatever it is, so much more. So make sure whatever goal it is, whether it's movement, whether it's mindset related, whether it's fitness or nutrition, whatever it is, when you look at that goal, make sure you know the immediate steps to start achieving that goal, but also how can you set up your life and your environment to make achieving that goal easier and just, yeah, as easy as possible, because why wouldn't you? Number 4 is master consistency, not intensity. Again, like I just mentioned, people tend to have the idea of going all in on January 1st, and that just weans off at the end. They're probably going to the gym, 5-6 times a week in January, hence why the gyms are so busy. But then February it quietens down because their motivation has weaned, they've burnt out. I cannot tell you how important consistency is for you instead of all or nothing or all in or like intensity. There is like no point of being so intense if you're not going to keep it up. I just cannot express the importance of just doing something and staying consistent with it and not pushing yourself to extremes, because you are just going to burn out and it's never going to last. It is so important, and it's healthy and it's long term and it's sustainable to just have a schedule that's not too crazy. You might go to the gym like 3 to 5 times a week, but you're consistent with it. And if you did that for 3 to 6 months, you are going to see so much more results than someone that just goes intense for 1 month. Like the maths aren't mathing if you just think you're going to do 1 month and that's going to change your life, because it's a lifestyle. It's not just a month of going all in. You see the results and you stop. This whole leveling up, this movement, whether it's exercise or whether it's nutrition, it's a way of living. It's not just a little challenge to do. So you have to make sure that you're consistent, and the way to make sure you're consistent is to make something that's super sustainable for you, whether that's not programming too many sessions for you at once when you're starting, or not cutting your calories or making these crazy elaborate meals. Start really small and build up and just stay consistent, because that's how I saw results, was staying consistent and not being all or nothing. And that's when things change for me. And I promise you, you'll just waste time if you go all in and think that I need to do this and change all of this and change my whole life. Like, no, calm down. Let's try and build a really nice long-term sustainable plan and a life that you're still going to love. And you have to build up to that and not just go crazy on January 1st, which has already passed anyway. Small actions daily matter so much more than big actions done occasionally. Like, it's proven, and it's just so important for you guys to know that the small habits, I speak about this all the time, are so much more important than the big habits, the big changes that you think are going to change everything. Because in reality, the most important things are the things you do every day, and the things you do every day are your small habits. And also, if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. That doesn't matter. What matters is if you quit from that. I used to be so like, if I missed a day, I think, well, there's no point. Oh, I'm missing 2 days, 3 days. Now it's a week. I may as well quit the gym. That is what's dangerous. Missing 1 day is important. Like, it's balance, it's flexibility, it's freaking life. Like, there are going to be days you miss, and you can't let that affect you. So make sure you're consistent and you have that balanced approach, so that this is going to be a long-term change for you, and it's going to last the whole year, and it's not just going to be a January thing. Now, moving on to some specific areas, we're going to talk about movement first. This is number 5. Make movement a non-negotiable. This sounds a bit like, whoa, but let me get into it. Movement is a non-negotiable for a healthy life. If you want a healthy, successful life, you have to be moving your body. that does not mean you have to be moving it in crazy ways, but you need to find a way of moving your body consistently because it's pivotal for mental and physical health. We know that. And the important thing to do this year, if you are looking to start moving more, is yes, make it non-negotiable, but to make it something that you enjoy. Find that form of movement that doesn't feel like a chore to you. It honestly doesn't matter. I know people say it doesn't matter what you do. It could be like dancing or it could be whatever, but it genuinely doesn't. Like a form of movement that works for you and your body is going to be something you can stay consistent with, enjoy, and you're not going to quit. And for some people, that's going to the gym and lifting weights. For some people, that's running. For some people, that's walking. For some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's dancing, like, or just stretching. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's just something that you stay consistent with. And I used to drag myself to the gym and do these punishing, horrible workouts that I would not make anybody do now, and wonder why I was in this just all or nothing, like, restrict or binge approach. Like, it just, there was a reason, because my body was stressed. I didn't want to do these workouts. I would dread them and I would spiral. But now I incorporate the movement I love, which is like walking. But obviously I have specific goals for competitions and I know I need to incorporate that in there, but it's not from a place of punishment. It's just when I need to do them, I do. And on the other days, I do things I love. And I think that is the way for you this year to make your movements consistent, is to make it something you enjoy. Experiment in January with the forms of movement, lock it in February, no matter what it is. Try the classes, try the Pilates, try the yoga. It will work for some people, and people on social media are like, this is the best form of movement, like, da, da, da. It's not, it's just for them. It's the best form of movement for them, but it won't be for you. So find something that you enjoy, make it non-negotiable, and stay consistent with it. You don't need to do things because you think you do and that it's trendy on social media and everyone's running, so I need to run. You really don't, and you will see the change when you're doing something that you enjoy, because your body feels safe and you're going to stay consistent with it. Number 6 is simplify your nutrition, okay? So again, if you're watching this, you're probably wanting a bit of a level up in your nutrition game, okay? You want to be healthier and you want to feel better in your body. Again, this needs to be so simple for you, okay? Nutrition does not need to be complimented. We are flooded more than ever with elaborate recipes, what I eat in a day that are like chef cooked. It's ridiculous. And even me, who has the same meals every day, is looking at this like, whoa, like, should I be eating like that? And that is what's dangerous. So if you are looking to level up your nutrition this year, which is such an important area of becoming the best you, because you've got to fuel your body right, focus on just simple, repeatable meals that are going to work for you, and don't try and start a new crazy plan or whatever. Just find something that works for you, and again, stick with it. It's the same with movement. It's so unique to you individually that no one can show you what they eat in a day, and you should copy that. So find something and meal pattern and meals that work for you, that nourish you, that have got the good food groups in it, but make it super basic, guys. Like, make this as easy for you as possible, because there's no need to overcomplicate it and think that you need to be having protein, coffee, banana, date, overnight oats, and chia raspberry pudding the next day. You know, those are amazing things, but that's not for now. If we're mastering the basics, just start with the basics and really simplifying your nutrition down so it's easy and accessible for you to actually sustain all year round, just like the movement is. Consistency with basic meals is so much more important than just spurts of perfect eating or whatever. It's just so important to be consistent with your nutrition. And I always say the 80-20 approach is what I love. 80% focus on those whole foods, those healthy, those nourishing meals, and 20% of the time is for enjoyment, whatever that looks like to you. It doesn't need to be eating a whole ice cream tub, because that's not enjoyment to some people. But it's enjoying things in balance and in moderation. And I genuinely do believe that you can enjoy everything in moderation. I used to think that I just couldn't eat, for example, chocolate or bread. Like, that just was, obviously I can't eat that. That will make me fat. And when you look at my before, that's when I was actually at my biggest and I had this all or nothing approach. Now I eat more variety of foods than you could ever imagine. I have chocolate, I try cakes, pastries, I have drinks with calories in it, I have bread every single day. Like, you can have anything you want in moderation. Like, it's unbelievable. But yeah, don't worry about eating perfectly, because there's no such thing. You can enjoy everything in moderation, but really try and focus on the 80% of the time, those nourishing, simple, whole food meals. And as always, nutrition should support your life. It shouldn't control it. Don't restrict yourself to a point of burning out or to a point of where you're just not enjoying food or whatever. nutrition is something that is to support you and fuel you. It's not something that's taking away from you. So always make sure that you're fueling yourself enough and that it's supporting you and it's from a place of nourishment and enjoyment as well, because that's super important. Number 7 is protect your boundaries. Now, whenever you make a change in your life, there are going to be situations where you need to say no and that you need to protect your boundaries and protect yourself. And especially if you're looking to get into areas of movement, nutrition, all of that good stuff, you really need to protect your boundaries, whether that's rest, whether that's sleep, whatever that is. Make sure that you are looking after yourself as much as you are pushing yourself and achieving these new things, because burnout is inevitable if you're going to be pushing yourself too hard. And again, it's not something you can sustain year round. So really make sure that whatever you're doing, you're prioritizing you time, you're looking after yourself, you're getting enough sleep, you're prioritizing rest as much as movement, because we know that's actually when the changes happen to our body, is during those rest states. So really make sure that you're protecting yourself and your boundaries and what's important for you and your body. And don't feel ashamed saying no. You're going to have to say no, especially if you're making a change in your life, you're leveling up. You're going to have to start saying no to things that no longer align with the life and that vision of you that you want at the end of the year, and be okay doing that, because there's nothing wrong with doing that. To get where I am today, I had to do that so many times, whether that's with a friendship or with going out or doing something or a plan. Actually, no, I'm okay, thank you. And that is powerful. You know, drinking with me. Do you want a drink? No, I'm all right, thank you. Are you sure? No, I don't drink. Like, being able to say no, whether that's to a plan, to a friendship that's draining you, that's not healthy anymore, or just to an area of your life that no longer supports who you want to be, that is so important in protecting your boundaries. So you're going to have to do that, and do not feel bad for doing that, because it is so important for making a change and really sustaining that change. And lastly, number 7, and maybe the most important, review, reset, and repeat, okay? Your perfect year isn't built in January, it's built every single day throughout the year, okay? And do not wait till December to go, oh, actually, I wasn't really working towards my goal, I didn't achieve it. Review your lifestyle every single freaking weekend, every month. Always reflect. Like, improvement comes from reflection. You should always be reflecting on how you're going, how your life is going, what your life looks like. You should be reviewing things like your screen time, how much time you're outside, your fitness levels, your activity levels. Like, review constantly so that you can make changes to improve, and you're not just going to waste another year, because it happens and you get to the end and think, I wish I did that, or I wish I changed that sooner and that just wasn't working. Why didn't I change? Always make sure that you're continually reviewing your progress towards your goals and just how your life is going in general, and whether you're getting closer to the version of you that you want to be at the end of the year or not. And adjust the routines if you need to. Don't criticize yourself because you've fallen into a bad habit or you haven't been as consistent as you want to. It's just a sign that you need to change something and something's not working, which is completely okay. So adjust your routines. Don't criticize yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because again, like I always say, too much pressure is just going to lead to you going, well, I'm not doing any of it. So be really open to the idea of change. And I think that is just such an important element of actually being successful, is being able to make those changes when you know things could be better. And that is just so important. And like I've said throughout this whole episode, simple habits done consistently change everything, okay? I promise you, as soon as you start staying consistent with the simple habits, nailing the foundations, your life is going to change. And as soon as you've nailed those foundations is when you can start to level up. You know, when you see the pyramid, until you conquer that base foundation layer, you're not going to be able to level up, and you'll keep falling back to that layer if you don't nail it. So make 2026 the year that you nail those simple habits. You stay super, super consistent with them. You're hydrating your body, you're getting enough sleep, you're moving your body in a way that feels good for you. Those kind of things. Once you've nailed those, your life will change, I promise you. So that is it for all of my tips, guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like I've said, your best year is not going to be created in one decision in one moment. It's the daily choices, the daily habits, the routines. So really, really focus your energy on those, not the big things, because I promise you they don't matter as much as you think they do. And as always, never put too much pressure on yourself, okay? Things take time, and just focus on consistency. Never put over pressure on yourself or expect yourself to achieve and do all these amazing things straight away, because it's not going to happen. It builds over time, and the micro habits that build up are the most important ones, as we all know. Keep it simple, stay consistent, and trust the process, and I promise you your life will change. I really, really hope you enjoyed today's episode. This was such a fun one for me to film. I always say that, but yeah, it actually was. Yeah, thank you so much if you've got to the end of this video. I love you all so much, and I will see you next week for another episode. Bye.